Virginia Supreme Court strikes down voter will in stunning 4-3 display of procedural integrity. In a shocking development that has left democracy both thrilled and mildly inconvenienced, the Virginia Supreme Court ruled Friday that the will of the people is legally binding only if the paperwork is filled out in the correct color ink during an approved lunar phase. Voters in the Commonwealth had narrowly approved a constitutional amendment in April by a razor-thin 52-48 margin, authorizing a mid-decade redraw of congressional districts. The new map, crafted with the loving care usually reserved for Renaissance sculptures and NFL playoff brackets, was projected to transform Virginia's current 6-5 Democratic edge into a glorious 10-1 Democratic supermajority. Northern Virginia's blue tentacles would have reached lovingly into rural strongholds, creating districts so elegantly contorted they resembled abstract art pieces titled Gerrymander No. 7, The Squiggle Awakens. Alas, the dream died not in the ballot box, but in the fine print. In a 4-3 decision, the court determined that Democratic legislators had committed the cardinal sin of procedural sloppiness when placing the referendum on the ballot. Apparently, something about multi-step constitutional amendment requirements, the definition of election, and early voting periods wasn't followed to the letter. The majority opinion essentially read, "Nice try, but Form 27B was submitted in the wrong font. Map invalidated. Better luck in 2031 like the rest of us." Democrats, who had spent months championing the sacred voice of the voters, reacted with the grace of a cat whose dinner plans were suddenly cancelled. "Greater than this is a direct assault on democracy," thundered one unnamed party strategist. The people spoke clearly. How dare unelected judges insert themselves into the process of unelected map drawers doing what the people clearly voted for us to do? Republicans, meanwhile, could barely contain their composure while ordering celebratory steaks shaped like the old 6-5 map. "We are simply relieved that the rule of law prevailed," said a GOP spokesman, adjusting the halo floating above his head. "Mid-decade gerrymandering is wrong. Unless we're the ones doing it in other states, obviously. But that's different. Those are defensive squiggles." Political analysts describe the ruling as a masterclass in American governance. Spend millions on a special election, convince just over half the voters to endorse your power grab, then watch it all evaporate because someone forgot to dot an I or cross a T in the state constitution's 18-step interpretive dance. The now defunct Democratic Dream Map featured districts so creatively drawn that one reportedly connected a Richmond suburb to a Shenandoah farm via a thin blue corridor that doubled as a bike path for politically reliable voters. Another looked like a lobster claw reaching out to pinch Republican strongholds. Cartographers across the state have reportedly demanded combat pay. With the old map restored, Virginia heads into the midterms with competitive seats intact, much to the chagrin of those hoping for a clean partisan sweep. Democrats have already filed appeals and muttered darkly about the U.S. Supreme Court, while Republicans are busy reminding everyone that fair maps are a cherished American tradition, right up until the next census. In related news, Virginia's voters have been advised to carefully review all future ballot measures for hidden subclauses reading void if procedural oopsie. Political consultants on both sides describe the entire episode as deeply concerning for our democracy, before retreating to their strategy rooms to brainstorm even cleverer ways around the rules next time. At press time, sources confirm that the sacred will of the people remains fully operational, provided it passes proper subcommittee review.